Hello, everybody. My name is Marlon, and I am the writer for Ashita no Anime, and you're listening to a special podcast today. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm here with Carl Londi. Is that how your name's pronounced?
Yeah, absolutely. You got it perfect.
All right. I'm here with Carl Londi, and he is the producer of Anime Sushi. So let's just get right into it. Carl, Anime Sushi is your project. Why don't you just go ahead and give us a quick overview, introduction of yourself, and just what is Anime Sushi going to be all about?
Well, Anime Sushi is basically a news show for the otakus. We are looking, everybody wants to get information on what's coming out, what's going to be coming out, what's being made next, as well as, what people are wearing at conventions and things like that. And we want to get that news out to them. And most of us, myself and the other producers, are people who've have cut animation and worked with animators and things like that. And we thought, hey, here's a whole section of the country that's just not getting the news about what's coming out. And so we've been in contact with companies like Funimation and Viz and Neon Alley, as well as the Japanese studios. And we're going to get that news out to everybody in a fun and imaginative way. That so people can find that get their next fix, so to speak.
All right. So what are your qualifications? Let's talk about the team a little bit. First, let's start with you. What are you bringing to the table as far as Anime Sushi goes?
Well, I am the producer that has my foot in both worlds, and that I have been an animation editor for several years. I've edited everything from features like Sinbad Beyond the Veil of Mists to Ultimate Spider-Man, which is showing now on Disney XD. As well, I just finished a few episodes of NFL Rush Zone for Nickelodeon. And I've been actually involved in anime for a long time. Early in my career, I was recutting Akira and Neo Tokyo and Crying Freeman and other famous animes for American television.
Oh.
And my other side of my career is I've done a lot of work for E! Entertainment News. So I've worked on shows like The Daily 10 and, E! News, of course, and also G-Force, X-Play, and channels like that. And so it's sort of combining my two interests there to, one of my passions, which is anime, and combining it with, all the other editorial work and production that I've done. And the other producers, Tim McPartland is a cameraman, and his kids are serious hardcore otakus, and they're in high school, and that's how he became involved, and he became involved mostly through conventions, going through Anime Expo, Anime LA here locally in Los Angeles. They've also done anime related stuff at WonderCon and at Comic Con as well. And he's also one of our producers on our show. Duncan Burns is our third producer. He's also an editor like myself and has edited animation. And then Kelvin Porter is our last producer, and he's a guy who's worked on a variety of television and knows a lot about the networks and stuff like that. And he's our our extension out to the executive side of things.
All right. What about the hosts, Taro Tomomatsu? I actually, when I read about his profile a little bit, I actually just remembered that he was in that show Banzai that I believe aired on Fox many years ago for a little while, and I remembered his face when they mentioned that.
He was Shake Hands Man.
Yeah, Shake Hands Man. What's he bringing to Anime Sushi?
Well, he is very well known in the anime community here on the West Coast. He's Toastmaster of Anime LA, Anime Kanji down in San Diego, does a whole bunch of events up in San Francisco as well. And he is not only very well informed about anime, he's very well informed about Japanese culture. And so, that's another extension to our show, is that we'll be doing a lot of Japanese culture things. some of it anime related and some of it not. And one of the things Tadao said is, "We're going to eat on this show," and so all the producers are like, "Yes, we're going to get fed." But and so do a lot of things like that. He is famous for being the nice guy who stirs the drink, and he's very obviously if you've seen his stuff on Bonsai or on the Tonight Show here, he's very funny and very engaging, and he's a good host for our show. I think people will enjoy not only his information, but will just enjoy his whole demeanor and how much fun he is to be around.
All right, cool. And last, the other host, Ella Bowen. What does she bring to the table?
Ella is not exactly known by everybody, but she like a whole bunch of us is an otaku, but has very strong ties to J-pop and singing. She's a
Right.
musical actress herself, and she also is one with a wicked sort of sense of humor, and she's going to be sort of our convention host, going around interviewing people and engaging people in various silliness and that kind of thing. She'll also be working with our cosplay and makeup correspondent, Lexi Laundy, who's my daughter, but is a licensed cosmetologist and actress. And they have a lot of fun working with all the cosplayers and stuff like that, and a lot of silliness evolves.
All right, nice. That sounds good. You have a good team going there.
It's a great team. It fits together real well, and we all have professionally it's a very good team because we all have our strengths, but also serving what the otakus and the fans want. We have a good feel for what's going on.
All right, so let's see. The formula is not just anime. You're going to be doing some other Japan-related stuff as well. You talked about food already. Um, in the preview video that I've been looking at, you had some stuff from Vocaloid there. Is there anything else that you want to spoil for us at this time that will be a primary focus of the show that may not be anime related? Clearly, there's a cosplay section, there's a news section, there's a convention section. What else can we look forward to?
Well, there will definitely be coverage of manga through because a lot of people who get their anime basically get them through comic book stores, which means they have availability of manga as well, whether that be Fruits Basket or Hatalia or some of the animes that you see now were originally written for the page, and
Certainly.
and it's available in English and Japanese, and reading left to right or right to left, and definitely expose that because it helps us, and we'll definitely cover stores and things that are doing interesting things. For instance, our local store here up where I live, Brave New World, does all sorts of cultural events for anime and comics of all sorts. And there'll be coverage of things that are not exactly anime either. Obviously, live action films, whether it be The Hobbit or Star Wars, that otakus really get into. We're gonna cover those kind of things.
Also, so almost like the American side of the otaku culture that is just like focusing on the American side because people do get into that, they get seriously into that side of America as well. Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of overlap.
At Anime LA, there were stormtroopers and slave Leias, and that kind, and there's no anime of those yet, but it's definitely attached to the anime culture. On the gaming side, same thing. There was huge amounts of Halo warriors, and Halo being from the gaming side, well, obviously we'll be covering games too. We've made an agreement with Dual Pixels, which is a gaming site. It's very much on sort of the cutting edge, and they have their own studio in New York, and they'll be sending us updates from the game side as well. And gaming can be anything, not only from obviously obviously a lot of console games will drive that kind of thing, but I'm sure card games and board games and all that kind of stuff. That's part of the culture, and we want to cover the culture.
Excellent. So we can talk about the format of Anime Sushi until we're blue in the face, but I think it might be helpful for everyone to get a little bit of an image of what you kind of have in mind for the flow of the show. So is there anything that inspired Anime Sushi? Was there something you mentioned that you worked with G4? Is there any particular shows that Anime Sushi is taking inspiration from? Something that we can kind of think about that already exists, that so we can get an image of what to expect?
Well, I think if you watch X Play or over on the Daily 10, those are things that definitely are going to influence the news and bringing you information side of things. Obviously there will be behind the scenes features of things coming up. We'll definitely interview all the rock stars in the voice acting community, Vic Mignogna, whoever. But also, there's got to be a little bit of an entertainment side to it. There's certainly more than enough fan dubs, fan musicals, also all sorts of cosplay going on that's worthy of people seeing. It's very entertaining, and we're gonna show some of that kind of stuff, and we may even create some of that stuff. It's going to be a very animated kind of show. There will be it's an anime show. There should be some anime on the screen, so we'll definitely have our own little anime things popping up from time to time. And the best way I think to describe it is, if anyone has seen The Soup on the soup, between The Soup and with a little bit of Scott Pilgrim graphic kind of element to it.
Okay. So what is Anime Sushi going to be bringing for the fans that is going to be just Anime Sushi? What is the perspective that Anime Sushi is going to be giving us that they can't get anywhere else?
Well, I'm hoping, because we're going to be a weekly TV show, that we're going to bring you some things first. Because when coming out, weekends at the most happen quarterly, for most people's practical purposes, once every 2 or 3 months. And, here weekly, you can go and find out what's coming out. And that's very important. Some people, it's just very important to be in line to get that first copy, but also
Definitely
know what they're making. I think to use an example right now, they're talking about Evangelion coming out with four new movies, and there's already big talk about, are these going to be remakes from material that they already had, or are these going to be new, or a combination? And there's already a big talk and a buzz about it, even though they're not out yet. And I don't think some of them are even complete. So we would like to do those backstage interviews with the artists and stuff like that, and get people geeked up for something that's coming.
excellent. So when Anime Sushi gets up and running, where are people going to be able to find it? Is it going to be airing on cable TV? What channel? Is there going to be another way for Anime Sushi to reach the fans?
Well, right now we are getting funding for the pilot through our Kickstarter campaign, and the pilot we're going to be showing to several networks as well as several web broadcasters. We'll definitely Neon Alley's been very involved with us. As a matter of fact, they're even putting up a promo for our Kickstarter campaign pretty soon to help us get up money for the pilot, and then it will probably. Definitely, Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Neon Alley, which are, I think the main anime outlets right now for most people, are definitely going to be looking at the show to add it to their schedule. But we're also looking at broadcasters as well. G4, Spike, and Adult Swim have all want to take a look at the pilot. So, we've had
Those are some big names. That's good.
Yeah, we've had very positive reaction to it. Like, oh wow, this is it's a niche, but it's a big niche, and it's a growing niche.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 people at Anime LA, a small regional convention, and 55,000 people at Anime Expo. which is pushing Comic-Con levels at that point, because
Yeah,
Comic-Con 100,000, 125,000. So, you
certainly.
know, and a lot of general conventions too, like Comic-Con or Dragon Con, there's a huge anime element.
Absolutely, yeah. So, at this point, what can fans do to help support Anime Sushi?
Well, the first is they can go to the Anime Sushi Kickstarter site and make a pledge. My joke is, if you've got $2 left on your gift card, make a pledge and help us finance the pilot so we can get the pilot seen by everybody. And by the way, everyone who does make a pledge gets a preview copy of the pilot, a digital download of it. And you can type in Anime Sushi Kickstarter or Anime Sushi TV series, and we come right up on Google, and you can get right to us from there.
What about those who are poor college students on tight budgets? What can they do to support Anime Sushi?
Well, actually, that's a good one too. Is as I said, there's going to be a fair amount of fan generated content on our show. As a matter of fact, we even have a name for it. We call it Otaku Generated Content, or OGC.
Yeah, an
And
acronym. I love it.
yeah, and so we're going to show as much as much good fan generated content as we can, because it's good and it's entertaining. Um, we've all and we've seen from from fan dubs. There was a great the Lovely Complex had a great fan dub where he redid the entire series in The Sims. Did the entire and had fans voice it, and it was very popular. And there was a big push to make an actual professional dub of that series. So that kind of stuff is kind of stuff we're going to show and preview and tell you where to go to get it. And so, that being said, obviously, if you've got something that you want to see on the air, we'd like to see it. And if you make, send it in and let us take a look at it and see if we can get it on the air.
All right, cool. Um, my blog, Ashita no Anime, is a review site for anime, and I'd like you to give us something, a little bit of an insight. My jealousy meter is going through the roof here because you have a totally awesome job. But what does the producer of Anime Sushi like to watch? Well, what's your favorite anime of all time? And then maybe let's talk about maybe a more recent title that's caught your attention. So first, what's your favorite anime of all time?
Well, I should say, well, I have a big selection. I'm old enough that I started out with Speed Racer and Eight Man After and Aquaman and a few other things. And and Gigantor. I cannot, Gigantor is so famous that they made punk songs about it. Um, but recently, because my daughter's into it too, we got into Full Metal Alchemist, and I gotta say that's my favorite at the moment. It's a little bit steampunk, which I have quite an
Hmm.
affinity to. Um, and of course, movie wise, it's Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, I love Howl's too.
That just the artwork was great on that, and it's a beautiful story, and also a beautiful world. Again, it was a kind of steampunk world, which I have an affinity to. Um,
That's
but
popular right now.
yeah, but we've watched a bunch. My wife and I, when we were, it was just us two. We were regularly renting out Bubblegum Crisis, and watched a whole bunch of other ones. It just Ghost in the Shell. We've watched a lot of the classics, of course.
Hmm. Nice,
And
nice. Okay.
so we've been sort of, I admit we've been sort of classically oriented. My daughter's I'm sort of on the edge of the Hitalia world as well, because my daughter is very much into it.
Oh yeah, Hitalia is big with the girls. I don't know so much with the guys,
Yeah, well,
and that's good.
it's kind of on that border between being a totally shojo piece and something else, and it just
Yeah.
um, and face it, there there are characters that are kind of odd, you
Yeah.
know, that you can't place anywhere. My other daughter's into One Piece, and I think that that also is it's an odd, very odd storyline. Yeah,
Yes.
you got
You'll get no argument from me in that.
you got pirates who aren't very piratey,
Nope.
and as opposed to Black, I should say this is one of my other favorites is Black Lagoon,
Mm.
which is very piratey, but much more, but in much more of the modern day sense of what a pirate is.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I think that's just about it. Do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to get in?
Well, we're really looking forward to seeing everybody's contributions coming, showing us what they're doing out in the otaku world, and we want to see what it is so we can get it on the air. And like I said, if you have a Christmas gift card and you got to kill off the last $2, so put it to our Kickstarter site so we can get this pilot made. And you'll get a free digital download of the pilot as it exists. And then once the pilot goes on the air, it will change a little bit because we'll probably update it to be for the news of the moment. But it will still, you'll still say, "Hey, I was part of that."
That's great. All right, everybody, you heard the man. Thank you, Carl. I wish you great success with Anime Sushi. I know I'm going to be following the progress as things continue.
Cool. Hey, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys out there at the conventions, and otherwise we'll be sharing stuff online with you.
All right, cool. This has been the Ashino Anime Podcast. I am Marlon, and if you want to get in contact with me for any interviews or talk about anime or anything else Japan related, you can get in contact with me through email at marlinbetagamer@gmail.com. That's marlinbetagamer@gmail.com. Or you can leave a comment to this post on my WordPlus blog, or you can leave a comment or shoot me a contact on YouTube as well. Thank you for listening, everybody, and hope you enjoyed it.